I got punched in the face last night. What a way to open the podcast. But yeah, I think that was the first time that's ever happened in my life. Boy, what an eventful night. I went from taking pictures with a hot girl to getting punched in the face by a fat chick. So, dude, I think some people, it's weird. In one way, I feel like people don't have any more fucks to give. Like 90% of people don't have a single fuck to give about anything because COVID and the war and everything, like with COVID especially, you've been forced into caring for 2 years that at this point people are just like, I don't fucking care anymore, bro. Like, just leave me be. But those 5% or 10% that still give a fuck, oh, they hold on to all the fucks to give. And boy, do they're punching them out. Dude, last night was fucking, oh man. Like I said, you can't really see it. She got me square in the face. Completely unexpected, like unprovoked. You know, obviously we weren't squaring up, but she got me. And I don't know, like, I feel ultimately bad for this girl because there had to be some, like, major internal issues going on at play, and I just happened to be the literal punching bag that she let him out on. It was like, go out to the bar, and at some point, like, she passed me by the bar, and I don't even remember what she said. Something about, like, do you have a podcast or something? I said, yeah. And she, like, immediately was like, oh, yeah? Well, fuck you. And I was like, oh. All right. Well, that's not normally how this conversation goes, but okay. And then at a certain point, I was out smoking a cigarette, and she comes up to me and is like, just belligerently drunk, but still, like, knows what she's doing. I can't blame it on her being... I wish I could just blame it on her just being, like, really, really drunk. But there was a coherence enough to, like, kind of know what she was doing. And she's like, I want to know your thoughts on feminism. You're a misogynistic, transphobic, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, my God, lady. Like, where is this coming from? You know, like, I'm trying to respond relatively calmly. And, I mean, it's fucking insane, but what's the problem? She's like, no, I want to hear you define feminism. And I'm like, and every time I kept trying to talk, she'd just start saying something else. And I'm sitting there with, like, 3 other guys, just random dudes bullshitting. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? And they would start to say something, and every time they would start to say, they'd go, no, she'd go, no, fuck you, fuck off. And so as soon as, like, that happens, like, I'm sorry, but I don't really want to talk to you if it's going to be that hostile. And she's like, no, I want to have an open discussion about this, like, yelling, like, we are having an open discussion about this. And then 1 or 2 of the guys would say something again, and she'd, no, fuck you, shut the fuck up. And I was like, I don't think you know what the definition of an open discussion is, lady. Open discussion is everyone gets to talk. What you're holding is a monologue. What you need to do is get a podcast like myself. That is where you get to say, fuck you, I'm talking. That's why I do this shit. But no, so that went on, and I don't know, like, one of her friends was embarrassed for her, so she, like, is kind of, like, pulling her back inside and, like, come on, let's fucking go. And as then I walk down the stairs from the balcony, and she's at the bottom of the stairs, like, before to go in. If you're a Kuopio person, I was in Aptekkari, like in the second floor before that you go into the dance floor, just that little hallway. And like I'm ready, prepared, and would appreciate just ignoring this girl for the rest of the night and moving on with my life. But that's not what she wanted to do. And so as I walk and like, I'm just going to walk by, she like gets in front of me and is like, you know, I thought she was apologizing. Like I can't fully remember exactly what she said, but from what I feel, because I got hit a second later, so maybe my memory is a bit fuzzy. I thought she was apologizing, and she said, "I'm sorry" or whatever about that, and I was like, "It's okay, like no worries, it's all good." And as soon as I said that, she, "Oh, it's okay," and just, pah! And I was like, "Oh, I just got punched in the face," and I learned and realized I'm pretty sure that's the first time I've ever been punched in the face. I've been kind of wanting to, I mean, I shouldn't say this, but like, you know, there's like this like little manly tribal side of me, because I've never really been in like a one-on-one like mano-y-mano fight. Like growing up, we used to always have fights in the McDonald's parking lots after football games, or guys did. Man, I wish YouTube was like really big when I was in high school, or we were smart enough to capitalize, because we had a thing called Gentleman's League or something. Shout out to Isaac Solomon, who ran like a UFC underground thing in his garage and basement, and people used to sign up at school and we'd fight each other with a referee. I mean, I never did it. I was a pussy. And like I just had I had nothing to prove. For me to get mad enough to fight over something is going to take a whole lot, especially at this point in my life. And so anyway, I've been thinking like, man, I wonder if I could take a punch. Cause like, you know, I take hits in football and people think I'm like, I can take a fucking hit, bro, in a football setting. I'm much tougher than I look. Thank the Lord. But I was thinking, you know, I wonder how I could fight, because I think I throw pretty good punches, you know, and by no means I shouldn't even put this out into the universe, because I don't want to fight anybody. I don't fucking care enough about really anything to fight about it. I truly don't. But I guess I got what I wanted to know, because I took this punch to the face, and like I said, I didn't know how I was going to react when that happened. And so I got it and I just walked away, because what am I going to do? Fucking punch the bitch back? Like, no, I'm not going to do that. And so as soon as I walk in to like the bar part of the bar, I thought this one dude like was looking at me like all excited, and I thought like he was going to say like, dude, what the fuck? And I was like, bro, did you see that? And he's like, no, but bro, I love your TikToks and I'm Irish. I was like, all right, well, no one just saw me get assaulted. That's okay. But then I go right into this conversation with a TikTok fan, a fellow Irishman. And so I'm still processing while I'm talking to this dude about, I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about. I'm just still in my mind like, did I really just get punched in the face? Like, do I have a mark? Like, you know, it's a little I don't have a mark right now, but it's a little tender. I will say, like, she got me square in the eye, or like eye bone or whatever, cheekbone. So yeah, I think it's over. I go tell one of my buddies that just happened, and whatever. We move on with our night. I'm thinking to myself, well, this is going to be a good story to tell on the podcast at least. And then it gets better. It only gets better. And so I go back up for a cigarette, and of course, I don't know if she was up there already, or she's up there. And so I'm literally having a conversation with like a cute girl. I forget, she was talking about like taxes. The tax system in Finland is, or I don't know. She was talking about taxes, but not in a very Finnish way. That's all I remember thinking, like, oh, this, like, talking about American tax, whatever. Not the point. The point is I'm talking to a girl while all this is happening. We're having a very nice conversation. And then fucking super feminism comes to my side again. And I don't even know. She's like, I just want to talk. I'm like, listen, I'm sorry. I don't want to talk. You've already punched me in the face. Like, I have no interest in talking to you. Let's just go about our nights. But I'm ready at this point. I know what she's capable of. I know she's got a sucker punch in her. So I'm on my guard a little bit as I say this. And it's like, there's something, she needs to see some fucking anger management or something, because she flips a switch, or she needs to join a fucking UFC gym, because she could do some damage, I think. And she's got that little killer instinct in her. Like, she's got to channel that in the right way. But as soon as I say, like, listen, I'm sorry, I don't want to talk. You already punched me in the face. It snapped again. And she went for it again. But your boy was fucking ready. And so I just socked her in the face. No, I'm just kidding. That would be how I knocked her the fuck out. No, I wish. But I caught the punch like some fucking Matrix shit. Call me Neo. I just catch it. And like now she's like kind of coming at me. Luckily, this other dude that was kind of in my conversation like steps in the middle of it. And, I don't know. And so, like this one dude is like being the cool head, like separating it, telling her to like fucking leave. And so she leaves. And again, I'm like looking at the girl that I'm talking to, and she's like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, well, I guess I say some shit on TikTok that pisses people off at times. And like 5 minutes go by, and she comes back with the bouncer, and she's like, yeah, it's him. And this is all in Finnish, but I understand what's being said via context. And so this dude's like on her, the bouncer to start is on her side. And so he comes up to me, he's like, all right, bro, we gotta go. And I'm like, what's up, dude? Like, listen, bro, I'm not the problem here. Like, she is the problem. And he's like, oh, she said like you tried to hit her or something. And I was like, no, she hit me. And he's like, and then she said that you told her you were going to rape her. And I was like, bro, what? Like, I didn't say this, but I was thinking it, and I didn't want to say it to her right in front of her. But like, no offense, lady, you're not my type. And the rape thing is not my kink. So on both accounts, you are telling a lie. And I was like, no, bro. I was like, she punched me and then tried to again just like 5 minutes ago. And like I don't know if he knew the TikTok shit or if I don't know. And I don't think he did. He seemed like a pretty simple-minded guy, not going to lie, but that's all right. Good guy. And so after I say that she punched me, she comes out next to him with her hands behind her head and is like, I did not punch him. And like totally pleading her case and saying like literally saying lies about me to my face about what I said. And I was like, oh my God, what fucking Twilight Zone episode am I in right now? Like, people are insane. And luckily, there were like 5 other people on the balcony. And this girl, again, luckily it was a girl who could vouch for me and is literally telling the bouncer, like, no, this bitch is fucking crazy. Like, he hasn't said any of that. He's been talking to me this whole time. She tried to punch, like she told the whole story. Another guy told the story. And so the kind of fucked up part about the whole thing was she got to just like leave. I don't know if she got I don't know if she got kicked out of the bar. I kind of hope she did, but it's just like crazy to me. Like, I know I'll get labeled misogynistic and all that stuff and all, like, I'm not for any of that shit, obviously. But it's scary to think that motherfuckers will just lie like that. Like, straight-faced in front of the person that they're lying about. Like, not to turn myself into a victim here, but holy fuck, I was. It's just, and that's okay. I can be a victim. I'll fucking take it. I'm going to tell a 15-minute story about it and hopefully monetize it and make a couple clips about it on TikTok. But I'll take it. I'm fine. I don't need any pity at all. It's just scary to think, like, luckily there was other people around to prove that she was lying, because at the end of the day it would have just been my word versus her word. And it's like, whoa, dude, we're in some weird times. You feel me? So that's how my night went. Overall, besides that, great night. Pretty fun night. I was still about as good as a night at Apteekari can go. And that's pretty ironic to say that I got punched in the face and it was one of my more favorite nights at Apteekari. So that kind of shows the bar on Apteekari. But I will say everybody that works at Apteekari is pretty dope from my understanding. And it's kind of weird because I would say most of the people that go to Apteekari aren't that well. I don't want to label everybody, but there's a much higher percentage of like superficial type of people that go to Apteekari. Like, my buddy literally echoed what I said. He was like, bro, it just feels like everyone just stands around and stares at each other here. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how it is compared to like Nosu or Albatrosi, two other bars here, like, where people are just having fun. And so it's almost weird to me that the staff is as cool as they are, because they have to deal with those shitheads much more than other places. And so just by ipso facto, sometimes you can become a shithead because you're having to deal with shitheads. It's just like or then you start treating nice people as shitheads just because in your mind they're all shitheads. But I digress that the staff there is super cool. So it's like that's the main positive of Apteekari to me, the staff. I guess I'll do my intro now. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Living for a Living.
Living for a living, baby. How you doing?
Woo, we're rolling. 20 minutes in. I've told one story. Shout out to the new subscribers. Shout out to the old subscribers. Henny, Clayton, haven't heard from you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Hope I didn't piss you off with my power rankings about a month or two ago. And the power rankings have fallen off my mind. So it was fun while it lasted. But shout out to the new subscribers. I just hit 3,000 on YouTube, which is kind of a big deal, I guess, for me. So shout out. I think the latest two that have commented is Doc and damn, I forget. It's a Finnish guy though. Found me through Stieg. So I appreciate you guys. If you do me a favor, like post on the story and or rate on Spotify, whatever you're listening to. Or, I mean, if you're listening on Spotify, please share that. If you're listening on YouTube, please obviously fucking subscribe, like the video. But it's cool to hear from the new subscribers that like, hey, I found you through TikTok. I found you through the Stieg interview. I think the Doc dude, you found me through the Jason Gesser podcast, which was like a year and a half ago. So if you're new or old, I'd really appreciate comment in the fucking comments how you found me, where you're from. That'd be an easy one. It boosts the fucking algorithm. Mom, I know how you found me. I appreciate your comments. Please do comment. I know you're going to. Thank you. But all you other motherfuckers, come on. Like, if it's only my mom in the comments, how fucking lame do I look, bro? You know? Like, help a brother out, dude. So, yeah, please do that. The story thing works. I hate to be the guy that continually has to ask and say that, but I'm going to be. And so I gotta love myself for it. So that's my struggle I'm dealing with, all right? Also, this episode is brought to you by Enchanté. The coffee. You know, I'm sipping that good French specialty shit, boy. And my latest thing I've been doing, shout out to my boy Colin, is, because I got the idea from him, is I put a little maple syrup in the coffee. Get that sugar, that natural sugar hitter, boy. And that's a nice little mix, I will say. Try that one out for yourself. But I got that French hitter. I'm just missing a croissant et fromage. Oh, dude. And I went out on, I don't know, one day I went out. Surprise, surprise, this week. And there was a girl there, like a French exchange student. And the French English accent is like the cutest fucking thing in the world, dude. I fucking love it. I wish I could do a good impression of it, but I don't even know how they instead of they'd say z. And then when the French expression of just like when a cute girl does it, oh my God, it's so cute. But equally as cute as the French girl accent is, I hate the French guy accent. Oh, I hate it. Because it's so like, like, actually, I shouldn't say that, but for a clip, I will. But for the most part, it's always like so like, condescending. Even though I know it's not necessarily that they're trying to be. It's just how I'm interpreting it. I understand it's my problem. But yeah, I can always hear that French accent. So oh, you're French? She said, oh, yes. And I was like, oh, wesh mon gars. Which is like, what's up, bro? Shout out to Jeff. Taught me my French slang. Or as the French girl said, like, in the streets we say. in the streets. No, that is the proper way. Oh man, my French accent's terrible. In the streets. So, yeah. That French accent, boy. Need some more of that in my life. If you're a French girl and you like these videos, holler at your boy. Send me a voice message. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, what else? I guess, dude, I'm doing good or I'm doing bad. I'm not sure. I guess I'm doing both. 25 minutes in, I've barely even hit anything I wrote down. So I guess now let's get into the scripted part of this podcast. Also, shout out to the Finnish military dudes. I see you guys at the bar always. And every time I see a Finnish military guy, he's saying yeah, I got to go back to the military tomorrow. And I'm like, I think this is I think you're lying, bro, because I always see you out at the bar, and you're always supposedly going back to the military tomorrow. So something's not adding up. But no. I got a good compliment from one of my military homies last night. He's like, dude, your transitions in the podcast are just so nice. I'm like, thanks, bro. Appreciate that. I put a little effort and a little thought into that. But now once he says that, I don't have a good transition. That's I guess a good transition to talk about the bad transition. But no, I was just been thinking this week. I guess I kind of said it in the beginning. Is like, dude, COVID has made people care and be forced to care. We forced caringism upon people. That now that it's like over, because it's fucking over, bro. If you're buying in to the COVID hype at this point, like, you're choosing to be manipulated. Let's just put that out there. I know that the Pfizer CEO says that we all need a fourth dose because it'll make him a lot of money. I mean, because there's health risks if we don't. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, what about all the motherfuckers that don't have one? We need to get 4 now? I think we're doing all right. Like, it's just turned into the cold or the flu. We're like, yeah, he's got it. He'll be out for a little while. It's like, So at this point, I'm hoping, though, that with, like, we've kind of been, maybe the last, 10 years have been super politically correct. You know, you can't say something's gay. You can't call someone a fag, and I don't want to do it in a mean-spirited way, but I want to be able to just call when there's some comedian skit that's like, when you order lemon with your water, it's like, bro, that's gay. I want to, and I love lemon with my water, so I'm a little gay, but I just want to get back to those times. And I'm kind of hopeful that we're going to be able to get back there, because it's cyclical. And we've been in such a cycle of having to care about everything. Post the Ukraine flag, stand with Ukraine, post the black square, BLM, defund the police, fund the police, I support the troops, all this shit of like, look at me caring, basically. That at a certain point, we're going to say fuck it. And no one's going to give a fuck anymore. And we're going to be able to say whatever the fuck we want again. I mean, you can really truly say whatever you want now if you're independent. Like, I can say whatever I want because I don't get paid to do this and no one's paying me to do it. Yeah, maybe I lose a certain brand deal that I already don't have, so it doesn't fucking matter. But if you're a Rogan, or I guess Rogan has Spotify, but the Nelk Boys, fucking Danny Duncan, all those people, if there's not someone truly behind you, if you're self-supported, you can't get canceled. You can truly say what you want. And I think it's coming out more and more that we can do that, and that's nice. I'm just hoping that we're getting there. Don't say gay. I looked into, I think I made a joke about that on the last podcast, or maybe I did on Twitter, who knows anymore. But I looked into the don't say gay bill, and it's literally just to not talk about that kind of stuff with kindergarten through 2nd grade or maybe 3rd grade. It's like, is that controversial? Do we really need to be talking about that to 5-year-olds? Bro, when I was 5, I thought sex was a really long kiss. I still kind of think that. From my understanding, that's what it is. It's like, do we need to, that's some innocence a little bit, Do we need to ruin that innocence and tell them that dicks are going in butts also? Like, let's just let 5-year-olds think kissing is sex. Like, can we do that? Is what I'm saying wrong? Like, am I the one who am off in the brain? I don't know. Like, can we keep the kids somewhat innocent? But dude, I don't know. It's just all the stuff going on with everything makes me question something. And I think that's just how, like, COVID did it, because I already didn't really believe in the media, but after the last 2 years and how the science and data and experts and media and have covered it, which have like kind of came out to be proven false in a lot of cases. Not cases being proven false, which has also happened too, but just, you know what I'm saying? But like, even, I gotta say, I'm starting to like get on the, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Welcome to the show. I think, I naturally kind of tend to maybe think of a conspiracy, or like I'll believe into a conspiracy, quote unquote. Conspiracies are also known as like soon to be truths right now. But just like my idea wise, like ideals, the way I think, like maybe I'm more apt to believe in something against the narrative compared to someone else, just because of, I don't know, how I am, because I'm really intelligent. And so, dude, I'm starting to, with this whole Ukraine shit, again, I'm not reading into it and fucking posting it on Reddit and watching every YouTube video, but there's just something weird about what's going on. I did listen to the podcast. It's called Unfilter by, I forget what the dude's name is. He's from Seattle, actually. And he does, I would highly, highly recommend like listening to this dude's podcast in terms of like knowing what's going on in the world from like the American perspective. Like, he does an insane amount of research and like gets clips and all this stuff. And he basically kind of says how the West kind of wants this Ukrainian shit to be going down, and how they've kind of supported it and meddled in it for decades, which doesn't surprise me. But this, I don't know, with listening to that, and then just even my own kind of, the more I learn, I didn't realize that Zelensky dude, the president, like 5 years before it, or however many years, was an actor on a TV show where he was pretending to be the president of the country. Like, we give Trump shit because he was a reality TV star. Bro, this motherfucker literally was acting like, and then is now the president? I mean, that's some weird, I mean, all power to him, don't get me wrong. But the way he's been turned into this, like, again, and this is going back, I'm with the media, like, kind of no matter what, if the media is saying, like, view it this way, like, this is how to view it, I'm trying to, like, find that other angle. And so, like, just with how the media is, like, making this guy into, like, such a fucking hero. And I heard, like, they were going to try and get him to do a Zoom call in on, like, the Oscars or something. It's like, bro, how out of touch? What the fuck are we doing at this point? But with all these things, you know, the green shirt has been made into a symbol that he's wearing. And, you know, he's turning into this, like, hero. And maybe he is. But I'm just saying that the way that everything's being pointed for me to view it in a specific way is making me not believe it. You know what I mean? And then also, like I said, that podcast, Unfilter, I'll link it in the description and stuff. It's a worthwhile your hour has just made me think like, I don't know, man. What's going on here? What's going on here? And I mean, it's just so hypocritical in general. You know, I've said it from the beginning with the U.S. doing all the shit in the Middle East. I mean, we're still the UAE, Saudi Arabia is dropping bombs in Yemen right now. And someone will say, well, it's a civil unrest, civil war situation going on. No one's invading anyone. Yeah, okay. The main difference is it's fucking in a place where there's no media coverage. It's not white people. And the U.S. and British forces are kind of backing the aggressors. So, I don't know. It's just some weird shit going on, man. Lot of weird shit. And then with the Biden laptop thing is now, which was a conspiracy that got you banned from social media a year ago, now is true. So it's like, okay. And Biden's son, if you don't know, has a lot of weird connections with Ukraine. Listen, I'm a anti-war guy in general. I don't want people to die on either side. This just seems a little fucking weird at this point, I will say. And I feel bad because I like fed into it, or like I bought into it at first. You know, I said the thing about all profits will go to Ukrainian freedom fighters, and like I've realized over the last couple weeks that like, dude, that's kind of hypocritical of you to say that you're against the war, yet here's some bullets, bro. You know, like but I don't know, at the same time they're defending. I don't know, man. I'm just, let myself be an example that you can change your mind, or you can like critically think and you can change your opinion given new information. And so maybe I was wrong about that. I don't know. I'm saying I don't know. I'm not saying one side's right. I'm not saying Putin's the man. I'm not saying Zelensky's the man. I'm saying I don't know. It just sounds there's a lot of sketchy shit going on, like the last 2 years have been. But with that said, I sure hope that the war is still going on next fall, because I'd really like to travel to Asia. I almost hope that China gets into the war by next fall, which they just might. We might push Russia and China together. But I kind of hope they do, because then COVID for sure will not exist anymore. And that'll be worldwide, because COVID's still lingering around, I think, in some Asian places, because they have nothing better to fucking worry about and control people with. But if we can get China in the fight, then for sure we will end COVID. And that's what I truly stand behind, is ending COVID. So I guess I have to retract. I'm pro-war if it means because I'm anti-COVID. So those are alternating factors. Like, I hope it comes off that I'm kind of joking. I'm kind of serious in a way too. You know, call me Joy Behar, but I want to go to Asia. In the last 3 years, my trip to Asia has been canceled because of COVID. So we got to keep this war going so that COVID can stay in the secondary thoughts of everybody else. And we won't get a fucking super strain that's all of a sudden going to come out as soon as this war ends. Yeah. This episode is also brought to you by myself, as always, living for a living. Get that long drink, long sleeve tee. Check out the website. I've gotten a few purchases. The shorts, I'm actually wearing the shorts right now. You can't see, but I'll stand up. Ooh. The shorts have been a great seller. And it's dope to see at this point, like when I go to practice, especially now, there's like 4 guys that rock shorts. A couple guys got hoodies, tees, hats, whatever. It's pretty dope, I will say. It's really cool, and I'm proud of that, and I'm thankful for it. I really appreciate everybody who has supported it thus far. It does mean a lot to me. Okay. Also on the website, like if you have an idea of something that I kind of already have, but you'd maybe like it in a different color or a different style, whatever, just let me know. I can do some custom type of shit. The shorts pretty much come in any color. I just like black, white, red, and army because I think those look the dopest, but got my homie some pink ones. Although that's a little questionable, Hansa, I will say. No, I'm just playing. Pink's kind of swaggy. It's 2022. In 2027, I can probably call you gay again for liking pink shorts. I can't do it right now, though. Fag. What do we got? This is some random shit now. We get into the last quarter of the podcast. I saw that, it was like International Women's Day earlier this month or last month, whenever it was, which is cool. That's great. I know that the counter thing is like, well, when's International Men's Day? And then the feminist will be like, well, it's every day because the patriarchy. But what I thought was very clever is like a week or two after International Women's Day, there was International Steak and Blowjob Day, which is essentially International Men's Day. And I have to say, women, you still got a little ways to go in terms of your marketing schemes, because they're saying, yeah, let's do International Women's Day. And then you talk to the guy and they're like, should we do an International Men's Day? It's like, well, what do we really want from this day to happen? Because International Women's Day is up for interpretation. Some people get an Instagram post. Some people get some flowers. Some people get a free coffee. It's up for interpretation. Someone just might say thanks. And so the guys were like, should we have an International Men's Day? They're like, well, we really just would like a steak and a blowjob. So let's just do a International Steak and a Blowjob Day. And you can look this up. This is a real thing. I mean, there's international every kind of fucking day in the world nowadays, but I'm sure it correlates with some sun's star sign. But just smart on the dude's part, man. Like, all right, don't give these bitches any reason to think that we want something else. There's no excuse for not getting a blowjob on this day. So, ladies, take notes. That's marketing at its finest right there. I mean, you got to ask for what you want. That's what I've learned more and more to get a little serious. Is like the closed mouths don't get fed thing is so true. But whether it's a relationship, whether it's any kind of relationship, romantic, business, friendship, whatever, like expecting people to read minds is setting you up for failure. I mean, having any expectations in general, I don't mean to make this dark, but if you can go into any situation, whether it be moving somewhere new, whether it be a new relationship, whatever, if you go into it with truly like no expectations and just appreciating what it is each and every day for what it is and not for what you think it should be, like that's the way to do it. Like all of when I look back, like my major problems mentally in life have came about when I had incredible expectations on how something should be, whether it be a relationship. Like it's funny for me now to look back at when I moved to Vasa and things didn't work out there. Yeah, there were some problems there, but if I compare them to other teams and even just compare them now to here in Finland or in Kuopio, like it wasn't like some night and day difference. Yeah, things have been handled much better here, but there's also things that'll happen here or have happened in other teams where I'm like, damn, like I probably would have made a way bigger deal about this in my old headspace. But since I come with less expectation, when you expect it a certain way, it sets you up for failure. So I don't know where I just rambled that from. That was, I thought, slightly brilliant for a minute maybe, amidst chaos in my mind. Where was I? I don't even know. Well, let's move on then. Let me check my notes. Okay. Well, how do I go about this one? I guess I just jump into it. I got some shit for telling guys that I don't think pearls are the look, which it's like, bro, everyone's allowed to do whatever they want, including me talk shit about that, and then opposingly people talking shit about me talking shit. That's okay. I'm fine with that. Someone made a really good response video that said, I said that wasn't the look, and then they clipped up me wearing Toms with an ankle bracelet. And I was like, damn, well played, my friend. Like, well fucking played. But that shit's funny, I don't know. It's I don't know. But anyway, in thinking about this kind of thing, I was thinking, what are some other, because the pearl necklaces are kind of like the 2022 version of the Fila shoe, I feel like. 2020, 2019, 2020, like Fila all of a sudden became cool again. And so it's just kind of the newest trend that people who don't really think for themselves and just follow whatever the magazine or whatever the Instagram post tells them to do, that's like hip. That's what they do. And then it eventually becomes mainstream, and then they look down on it, and then it cycles all around again. And so I was like, because I was thinking to myself, if someone wears Fila shoes, it's a major red flag that goes up in my mind as a judgmental person that I am. Because when I see the Fila shoes, I'm just like, okay, you don't really think they're cool. Like, you just are wearing them because you're told that they're cool and hip right now. Because if you knew anything about Fila, it was and still kind of is not fucking cool. And so it's been crazy to see how some of these trends change. And I know who am I to judge fashion and all that stuff? I'm just observing. I'm not saying I have good fashion at all. Although I'm fucking swaggy, bro. Peep my if I showed you this closet right here, looks like a thrift store, boy. But okay, if Fila's shoes are a red flag, what are other red flags in people that I started to think about? And it's a definite red flag is also people with forearm-only tattoos. Because I know you're going to say, well, I'm going to get a sleeve. It's okay, hurry the fuck up then, bitch. You've had just a forearm tattoo for 3 years now. That sleeve ain't coming in very fast. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it just, the type of, and I can still, even though I can talk shit about all this stuff, we can still be friends. That's what is being lost in society right now. It's if you dislike something, you have to hate them. And if you hate somebody, then you can't like anything they say. And if you like someone, then you have to agree with everything. And if you agree with everything, then you like them. It's like, no. Sometimes I agree with people I think are fucking stupid, but I agree with them on one point. Sometimes I disagree with someone who I think is very smart, but we disagree on this point. And just because I agree or disagree doesn't mean I like or dislike them. That's more about how you are as a human. But yeah, so forearm only tattoos. Just the type of person, they want a little attention. I mean, even worse than forearm only tattoos would be hand and neck only tattoos. And whoever the tattoo artist that did that for the person should be taking their fucking certificate or whatever the hell you need to tattoo these days is. That should be taken away. Because doing neck or hand as your first tattoo, we get it. We get it. You want attention. We get it. My other red flag in people, kind of guys and girls, because like I said, the Fila shoe thing, at first I was thinking, oh, it's a girl thing. But then I saw guys wearing them and I was like, oh, that's just as much of a red flag. Same thing with forearm only tattoos. That goes both ways. This one goes more for guys, but I've seen it work the other way too, is dangly earrings. Major red flag in the person. It just kind of, the dangly earrings just like falls into, and maybe I'm just explaining a specific person at this point. Fila shoes, pearl necklace, forearm only tattoos, dangly earrings. It's just the like ultimate what's trendy at the exact moment. And so, I don't know. I guess I like to think of myself as original and think for myself kind of thing. And so then I don't like that. I don't know. I'm judging, of course, right now. But one thing then that goes out of this dynamic that's a major red flag in people is if you like Big Bang Theory and you think that's a good TV show. That's a red flag, my friend. And not always, but boy, to like Big Bang Theory. Oh, I'm sorry, something's wrong with you. I've been actually watching Seinfeld a lot lately. Shout out to Dixon. We went to the Seinfeld spot in New York City. And just so you know, little insider trading fact. They just used the restaurant sign in Seinfeld. It's a set in the restaurant. That's not actually what the restaurant looks on the inside. The restaurant on the inside is super wooden and super dark and kind of shitty looking. It doesn't have like the 90s appeal to it at all that the show shows it does. Shows it does. That can't be right English. Can't be good English. I'm speaking rally English nowadays. Dude, I haven't been back in the States in like 3 years. But I'm going back this Christmas. I'm for sure I will be home. I don't know exactly when, but I'll for sure be home for Christmas this year. And then it'll be 3 months since I've been home last. And I don't miss the States too much, but on Christmas I do. And on Christmas when you're alone, you really feel like a piece of shit, I will say. So shout out to all those people that have to do Christmas alone, because I feel your pain, players. I guess that was a therapy session I needed to get out 90 days later. But Seinfeld's so fucking good, bro. And I watched a little bit of The Office afterwards, thinking like, they're comparable. Not even close, dude. Seinfeld's just so great. The fact that there's an episode in Seinfeld about them creating the show in itself is absolutely brilliant. And then a show about them pitching the show and it not going well is like next level interstellar. What's the dream world movie? Inception. Like, that's some fucking TV show Inception right there. That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. That's all I got on Seinfeld. Sorry. If you haven't watched Seinfeld lately, check fucking Seinfeld out. That's like some good shit. Oh, text message. Okay. What else we got here? I love how my friend said I transitioned so well. And then my transitions for this one just fucking suck. Are about as choppy as can be. That's all right. I saw a picture of like a Gucci model. And I think I might say I'm a girl and become a Gucci model because it was not good looking. I don't know what model standard is nowadays. I know everyone's fucking beautiful. But this bitch had a bigger nose than me and bushier eyebrows than me. And I thought, man, this is my time to shine, boy. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I got a couple little how do I want to do this? Do I want to end with the finish? Yeah, maybe I'll end with the finish stuff. One thing I have noticed, to get philosophical on you, is like I feel kind of bad for the people that on Instagram have like 0 posts or only 1 post or 2 posts. Just because I was thinking about it, is there's some weird, the social media world that we live in now is like very judgmental. Obviously, I'm making judgments on here and posting about them and blah, blah, blah. But like it's playing on insecurities so much. And so I feel bad sometimes when I see these people with like 1 post or 2 posts, because ultimately I know that you used to have more posts than that. And so I know at some point you've deleted it in order to create this like specific look. And in a way, Instagrams now are like our personal portfolio. So I get it, smart to delete some dumb shit. But at the same time, I personally love looking back at 8 years ago, 6 years ago, seeing a shitty picture of me and my homie Dixon drinking wine and smoking joints in Lisbon. Because if I wouldn't have had that picture, like, yeah, I kind of have the memory, but I wouldn't remember it. The picture then cues that memory. And so I feel bad at times just for my own, the way I see the world and how I interact with social media, which I'm not saying is right. But I feel bad then for people that only have 1 post or 2 posts and that aren't like putting themselves out there, because the way I interpret it, maybe I'm wrong, is like they're trying to come off as perfect and it's all, perfectionism is always rooted in insecurity. It has to be perfect. You say, oh, I'm a perfectionist, but it's really just like you're a shield in order to present yourself and show whatever you're working on to the world, because then you can get scrutiny for it. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I just noticed that in the last couple of days that like, I don't know. I like to think about someone else's psyche for why they have it a certain way and then reflect on it. And maybe I know the person, maybe I don't know the person, but that Instagram profile thing, you see it much more common with like younger people, because it's like, if I'm going to have a post, it has to get 700 likes. It has to have the perfect caption. It has to have this right thing. And listen, I'm like falling victim into that too. I post much less on Instagram than I used to. I used to post anything, everything, write a fucking diary entry about it. I think there is some beauty in the mystery. You know, there's a thing you can share too much, no doubt. Trust me. I know. But then not sharing enough, like I said, I love looking back on the memories and seeing like, oh, 5 years ago, I was drinking a beer with Kuba in some shitty bar in Poland, joking about this. It's like, would I have remembered that on my own? Maybe. But it's nice to have that cue. So, post what you want, motherfuckers. I'm gonna try and take my own advice right there. All right. We'll finish off with some Finnish stuff. That could be a good little segment. The finishing. Is, you know, I it's funny to me, Europeans in general, but especially Finnish people love to say that, oh, the American food system and Americans are so fat and da-da-da-da-da. When, like, if you research numbers, and listen, I'm not sticking up for Americans being fat and obese motherfuckers because percentage-wise we are. But Finnish people and other European people calling us so fat, it's like you might want to look at the numbers of your own country, players. Like, you're not leading the world in skinniness either. You know, there's more McDonald's in Kuopio than there is my hometown of Issaquah. Let's be honest about that. It's like, I think, you know, I know the U.S., it's like 66% overweight and like 40 or 50% of that's obese. Finland's not super far behind, bro. And I don't mean this like, haha, it's fucked up, it's sad. I mean it haha in the sense that like you tout some arrogance like you're fucking American in a way. That, oh, America's so like this. When that's like Stalin looking at Hitler and being like, oh, you're a really bad guy. It's like, motherfucker, you're not too far behind, bro. Oh, and that'll surely make a great clip right there. Comparing Finnish to American food and fat people to Stalin and Hitler killing millions of people. That's the kind of connections and correlations, I almost made up a word right there, that I'm trying to make. But dude, on a serious note now, I know I'm getting more and more Finnish by the day at times. I just know, because my buddy came over the other day, American guy, and he didn't take off his shoes. And he literally just sat in my living room with his shoes on. And it took everything in me to not like first stare at him and then second be like, bro, take your fucking shoes off. I know my house is dirty, but let's not make it any more dirty than it is. Because that was the thing when I first moved here that I didn't understand. Like, that was one of the main questions I always got when I first moved here. So do you leave your shoes on in the house? And I'm like, what weird propaganda does Finland have towards Americans with their shoes on in the house? I don't get it. And now someone left their shoes on in my house, and I was not happy about it. So I got to get the fuck out of here before I become an alcoholic, basically. Because that's what's next, I think. All right. Let's end it on that note. To alcoholism. As always, appreciate you. I don't know how this episode turned out. I'm a little rusty. Hadn't done one in a while. Now I'm just making excuses for myself. All right, I'm going to shut the fuck up. Peace and much love. Holla.